Musical notes suspenseful, tense background music. Corporate office, shiny marble floors, luxury elevators, busy assistants walking briskly. Black woman slowly enters a lobby, confident yet nervous, holding her resume. She approaches a receptionist. VO, he had wealth. He had power. He had the world bending to his will. And yet, in this very moment, he thought nothing could challenge him. The receptionist nods, points her toward the CEO's office. She walks in, takes a deep breath. The CEO, sitting behind a massive mahogany desk, looks up. His gaze is cold, dismissive. VO, he thought he had all the power, but he had no idea what was about to happen. She hands her resume. He glances at it casually, barely hiding a smirk. CEO, arrogant tone, I'm afraid this position isn't for you. Her eyes widen slightly, but she stays composed. She tries to explain her experience, her ideas, her potential, but he waves her off, dismissive. VO, she had talent. She had vision. But at that moment, none of it mattered to him. The camera pans between her determined face and his arrogant smirk. Staff outside notice the interaction, some whispering, some avoiding eye contact. The contrast is clear, humility and hard work versus unchecked arrogance. VO, in that office, he thought the game was over before it even began. Little did he know, the story had just begun. Fast-cut visuals, her walking out of the office, clutching her portfolio, the CEO leaning back, laughing lightly to himself, luxury surrounding him like a shield. The tension is set. VO, she left the office, feeling the weight of rejection, but her spirit wasn't broken yet. Scene, she walks through the lobby, head slightly lowered, but her eyes reveal determination. Colleagues glance at her, some whisper, some smirk. The CEO's laughter echoes faintly in the background. VO, the world had already decided her story before she even had a chance to tell it. Cut to a networking event. She tries to introduce herself to influential people, hoping to make connections. Each attempt is subtly ignored. People smile politely, then turn away. VO, every door seemed closed. Every opportunity slipping further from her grasp. Back in the office, the CEO holds a small meeting with his team. He casually mentions her name, mocking the idea of hiring her. Staff chuckle nervously, reinforcing his arrogance. VO, he had power. He had influence. And he used it to make her presence invisible, to make her doubt herself. Scene, she sits alone in a quiet cafe, staring at her portfolio. A single tear rolls down her cheek, but she quickly wipes it away. VO, for a moment, it felt like all doors had closed, and the world agreed with him. Cut visuals. Her hands gripping her resume tightly, bustling city around her moving fast, symbolizing how life seems to pass her by while others succeed effortlessly. VO, but sometimes the smallest spark can light a fire that even the strongest walls can't contain. Scene ends with her looking up, eyes steady, determination slowly replacing despair. Scene, she walks home through quiet streets, city lights flickering. She sits on a park bench, exhausted, her portfolio beside her. The night is silent except for distant traffic. VO, she thought she was alone, that no one could guide her through the storm. But life sometimes sends help from the most unexpected places. An elderly janitor sitting nearby notices her frustration. He wipes his hands on a rag and slowly approaches. Janitor, gently, you look like someone carrying a mountain on your shoulders, young lady. She looks up, surprised, but slightly guarded. Hero, I just don't know what to do anymore. I tried everything, but no one believes in me. Janitor smiles knowingly, settling on the bench beside her. Janitor, you don't win by speaking louder or trying harder. You win by thinking smarter, moving patiently, and knowing your own strength. VO, for the first time, someone saw beyond her failure. Someone believed in her untapped potential. Scene montage begins. The janitor reviewing her portfolio, pointing out small improvements. She practices presentations quietly in her room, taking notes diligently. Evening walks discussing strategy and mindset. VO, He taught her that true power wasn't in wealth or status. It was in preparation, patience, and the courage to act when the moment arrives. Visuals. Close-ups of her eyes lighting up with understanding, her posture growing confident, her resolve strengthening. VO. Every setback she had faced, every mocking laugh, was just the beginning of a transformation. Scene end with her standing tall on a quiet street, city lights reflecting determination in her eyes. The mentor nods approvingly from behind, knowing she's ready to begin her journey. Scene. She wakes up early, the city still quiet, and sits at a small desk, her portfolio open. Pencil in hand, she rewrites ideas, practices speeches, and studies company reports. The janitor occasionally checks in, nodding approvingly. VO. Every day, she learned a little more. Every mistake became a lesson, every failure a stepping stone. Visuals. Quick cuts of her making calls, researching competitors, sketching strategies on sticky notes. She stumbles, frowns, but picks herself up each time. VO. The world had laughed at her, but she was learning to laugh last. Scene. In the office lobby, she helps a colleague with a small project quietly. A manager notices her dedication, impressed, but still unaware of her potential. VO. Every small victory built her confidence. Every quiet effort added strength to her resolve. Scene. The CEO walks past, smirking as he sees her working. He whispers to his assistant, mocking her determination, completely unaware of the storm she's quietly preparing. VO. He still thought he was untouchable. He had no idea the tables were slowly turning. Scene montage, late-night work sessions, mentor guiding her, practice presentations, networking discreetly. Her posture straightens, her eyes sharpen, and her voice grows more confident. VO. She was transforming, not overnight, but steadily, silently, like fire gathering strength beneath the ashes. Scene end with her standing in front of a mirror, rehearsing a presentation, a small, confident smile on her lips, ready for the next challenge. Scene. A major company event is announced, a high-stakes meeting with investors and board members. She watches the announcement on her laptop, determination in her eyes. VO. The moment she had been preparing for had arrived, a chance to prove herself when no one believed she could. Scene. She rehearses a presentation repeatedly, adjusting slides, refining her points, pacing the room. The janitor watches quietly, nodding in approval. VO. Months of preparation, patience, and silent struggle, all leading to this one opportunity. Scene. The office is buzzing with excitement. Colleagues whisper about her participation, some doubting her abilities, some curious. The CEO strolls confidently into the boardroom, smirking. VO. He still believed she would fail, that the world would laugh at her again. But he didn't see the fire that had been quietly building. Scene montage. She makes final notes, practices eye contact, takes a deep breath. Elevator doors open, revealing the boardroom filled with executives. The CEO settles into his chair, smug, unaware of what's coming. VO. This was a stage where the underestimated would finally be seen, where patience and preparation would challenge arrogance and power. Scene ends with her standing outside the boardroom doors, taking a deep breath and stepping in. VO. She walked in calm, confident, and the world held its breath. Scene. She stands at the front of the boardroom, laptop ready, slides projected behind her. The room is tense. Executives exchange curious glances. The CEO leans back, smug, confident she will falter. VO. For years, he had laughed, dismissed, and underestimated her. But the time for underestimation was over. Scene. She begins her presentation, voice calm, clear, precise. Charts, strategies, and solutions flow seamlessly. Her confidence fills the room, demanding attention without arrogance. VO. Every detail she had mastered, every lesson learned, was now a weapon of truth. Scene. The CEO's smile falters. He whispers to his assistant, disbelief creeping in. Colleagues who had doubted her now lean forward, captivated by her intelligence and poise. VO. The laughter had stopped. Silence fell, and in that silence, respect quietly grew. Visuals. Close-ups of her hands confidently gesturing, her eyes steady, board members nodding. The CEO fidgets, realizing his power is no longer absolute. VO. For the first time, the one who mocked had no answers, the one who doubted had no words, and the one underestimated stood victorious. Scene montage. Executives applauding. Impressed murmurs spreading. The CEO sitting in shock, watching as a woman he rejected proves her brilliance. VO. She had transformed rejection into preparation, doubt into determination, and silence into triumph. Scene ends with her closing the laptop, looking around the room, a small, confident smile on her lips. The CEO's face is pale with realization, and the room buzzes with newfound respect. Scene. The boardroom erupts in applause. Executives rise to their feet, impressed and inspired by her brilliance. The CEO sits frozen, shock and disbelief on his face. VO. The woman he had dismissed, mocked, and underestimated now commanded the respect he had always taken for granted. Scene. The CEO stands slowly, trying to regain composure, but the power in the room has shifted. Colleagues who had once laughed now whisper praises of her intelligence and leadership. VO. For the first time, arrogance met its match, and wisdom took the lead. Scene montage. She receives congratulations from board members. Mentors and supporters smile proudly. The CEO watches, humbled, realizing that true leadership comes from vision, preparation, and heart, not just title or wealth. VO. Justice was silent, yet undeniable. Respect was earned, not demanded. And the one who had been underestimated now stood at the top. Visuals. She shakes hand confidently, walks through the office with newfound authority, staff cheering silently but meaningfully. The mentor watches from the background, proud and satisfied. VO. Every challenge, every rejection, every doubt had led to this moment. And sometimes, the smallest spark can ignite the greatest change. Scene end with her standing in the CEO's office, looking out over the city skyline, calm, confident, and victorious. Scene. She sits at the CEO's desk, reviewing reports, calm and confident. The office is bustling, staff now respecting her authority. The CEO stands to the side, humbled, watching her work. VO. She had earned her place not by power, not by wealth, but by patience, wisdom, and unwavering determination. Scene. The mentor approaches, smiling proudly, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. She nods, grateful for guidance that changed everything. VO. Every lesson, every small effort, every late night had led to this moment of triumph. Scene montage. Staff clapping as she walks through the office. Colleagues who once doubted now offering genuine respect. The CEO quietly acknowledging his mistake, a mix of humility and realization on his face. VO. Justice had been served, not with anger or revenge, but with excellence, perseverance, and undeniable truth. Scene. She looks out the window at the city skyline, a soft smile on her lips. The mentor watches from the doorway, proud. VO. If this story touched your heart, share it, because sometimes the smallest voice carries the loudest truth. Scene ends with a slow fade out, soft inspirational music playing, leaving viewers with a sense of hope, empowerment, and triumph.